begin a vibrant evening, scintillating evening, because we are celebrating 400 years of our glorious presence. As John Marshall narrated this morning, it was the golden era of Carmelite history 400 years ago. And what a wonderful coincidence. Manuel de Santa Catarina, the patriarch born in Portugal, who was the patriarch here for 28 years, died on 10th of February. And today is 10th of February. And on this day, we are celebrating 400 years. Our dignitaries have already arrived. Father Charles Serravo, the president of the IPCI, for Augustine Mullur, the vice president, and along with the other provincials, will be escorting our dignitaries into the pendule. As they walk in, it's our duty to give them a round of applause. You are very enthusiastic, I know. They are not yet come. It is said Carmelites are born in oblivion. When they built the beautiful cathedral, St. Peter's Basilica, they invited all the religious congregations, especially the orders, to place the image, the statue of their founders. The Benedictines came forward and offered St. Benedict's statue. The Jesuits said Ignatius of Loyola, the Franciscans, Francis of Assisi. But when it came to the Carmelites, the Dominicans had St. Dominic. The Carmelites were confused whom to place there. If you keep St. Teresa or John of the Cross, certainly the cast Carmelites will say, no, it is after the Reform, we were prior to the Reform. So after much discussion, they decided, someone 800 years before Christ, who was it? Prophet Elijah. So you know, Carmelites have a history 800 years before Christ. That's why you will find in place of the founder of Carmelites, the inspirer of Carmelites, Prophet Elijah. Prophet Elijah was a warrior, a fighter. You know how he got rid of the prophets of Baal. Zelo zelatus sum pro domino devo exercitum. Certainly, he was fighting for the Lord God of hosts. And later on, the Carmelites, when they came, they were the crusaders. They were also fighters. The Carmelites came to Goa. And when they came to Goa, there was a lot of opposition between propaganda and padroado. Again, they had to fight. One thing is sure, the fight continues even today. Anybody who is sitting pretty, not fighting, is not a Carmelite. Carmelites are warriors. Are you ready to fight? Do you have your swords? Where are the guns? Do you have the guns? Yes. Don't point it to me now any longer. I am the poor victim here. Yes. Those of you who are standing outside the pendule, please come in and occupy your seats, because our eminent guests, one after the other, they are walking and they will be marching into the beautiful pendule here to mark the closing of this 400 years of our glorious history. We have with us this evening the president of the function is none other than Very Reverend Father Souvenir Canistra, our own Father General. He will be coming along with His Eminence George Cardinal Allencherry, Major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Church in India. He has come specially for this function, just arrived, and he is coming here along with our dignitaries. So we extend him a cordial welcome. And he will be accompanied by our own dear Patriarch of Goa, Philip Neri Ferrao, who celebrated the Eucharist for us and give a beautiful, touching homily on the significance of this event. Most Reverend Father Aloysius P. de Souza, Bishop Emeritus of Mangalore. Most Reverend Derek Fernandes, Bishop of Karwar. Very Reverend Father Paul Chandi, Prior General of the CMI, Superior General of the CSSJ Sister Chris, Superior General of the Missionaries of Sisters of Saint Teresa, Very Reverend Sister Shanti Anthony, Very Reverend Father John S. Gorantla, Reverend Father Charles Serravo. As our dignitaries are walking the aisle now, they are heading forward. Please give them a rising ovation. Big round of applause. Carmelites cannot be grumpy faces. May we see your teeth. May we see your smiles. Both Father Charles Serravo, IPCI President, and Father Agustin Mullur, the Vice President, they're escorting our dignitaries to occupy their seats right in front. I request you all to be seated. We request the Bishop of Bangalore to come to the forefront. Thank you. The Sea Cathedral was filled to the brim, and now the entire pandal is also overflowing. That shows the Carmelite representation here this evening. This morning, as we had the seminar, we had the intellectual celebration, the food for our thought. We heard what Carmel is all about, history of Carmel in India, apostolate Carmel in India, the mission of Carmel in India, and social apostolate, and that has really enlivened our experience this morning from 9 to 1:30. And thereafter, we had a beautiful celebration, and some of you visited our ruins of Convento do Carmo, and some others watched the documentary prepared for this event. And after a lunch break, we are here. Now is the time. You see the budding Carmelites all standing ready here. These are the future of the Carmelite order. The Carmelites of the Karnataka Goa province, the scholastics, will now sing the opening chorus, guided by one and only musician of the Karnataka Goa province, who has brought in so many CDs and cassettes, was trained in South Africa, then in Tanzania. He did a specialization in Manila in psychology. Father Alvin Siqueira is now going to guide the chorus this evening.
Exalt Carmel, Carmel, exalt, exalt and sing Lord's mighty deeds. Exalt Carmel, Carmel, exalt, exalt and sing Lord's mighty deeds. Exalt Carmel, exalt and sing the mighty deeds the Lord has done. Let everyone know and love the victories you have won. The victories, the victories, the victories. Your worthy sons came from the west, and from this land Allencherry voița, Tarinkelia Vrăteaci. Europa down, Goya down, Săgleangele, Carmelite am ceva, Carmelite am ceva, Carmelite am ceva, am ce more, Elitani păsti, micea schina, cinitaci păsti, și le am ce pasă-n scruti, maurile de disanirati. Voto dan sobrava, voto dan sobrava, Tanle tore vrat, matir mele, ani esaide, bagevon, zale, indie bordai zorgele. Exalt, Carmel, Carmel, exalt, exalt, and sing the Lord's mighty deeds. Exalt, Carmel, exalt and sing the mighty deeds the Lord has done. The mighty deeds. Let everyone know and learn the victories you have won. Your worthy sons came from the west and from this land went to the rest. They brought us light and light. They brought us light and light. They brought us light and light.
Thank you, dear brothers, for your melodious chorus, which reverberated our sentiments because it intertwined the whole history of Carmel in India, both in English and in Konkani. Thank you for the all-win, and thank you, dear brothers. They deserve one more round of applause. India is a land of music and dance. The typical way of dancing in India, especially in southern part, when we have got Kathakali and Bharatanatyam, now we have Bharatanatyam here by the Apostolic Carmel College, Nuve in Goa. So we thank Sister Aradhana and her team who are going to perform Bharatanatyam and welcome our guests of honor. Mic can you put a no mic. They are going to perform. Stage should be empty. I need only this mic, no other mic. Where are you going to perform? Above or down? thank you, dear students of Carmel College. We thank in a very special way Sister Aradhana, the principal of the college, for providing us a beautiful glimpse of Bharatanatyam, and a hearty welcome to everyone. I have become famous for my fits of laughter. We have done nothing but to kid around. Prepare yourself. We are the last ones at table. We have told so many jokes and laughed so much that sometimes I can't eat. The most tragic part of it was that the priest who said grace after meal had to stop his prayer halfway through. He was unable to continue because of our laughter and because we infected him with our laughter. You know who said it? Saint Teresa of Jesus of Andes, a Carmelite saint with high spirituality, knew how to smile and how to laugh and make others laugh. Shall we all smile for a while? Excellent. You'll be invited to smile further because this great event is happening today because we are invited by the president of IPCI. In India we have 7 provinces, over 1,000 Carmelites of the discussed Carmelites, not to mention the Carmelite family that consists of over 20,000 Carmelites, and a great number of you that are here representing these 20,000 of various congregations. Carmel family is part of the 1,25,000 religious that are in India. The president of this association is none other than my provincial, Very Reverend Father Charles Serravo. Father Charles Serravo hails from Mangalore. For 2 terms he was a general definitor. He was the rector of the seminary in Theresianum, Rome. Now this is the 2nd term. He is the provincial of the Karnataka Goa province. If you see me something good, credit goes to him. He was my formator as well. So over to Father Charles Serravo to welcome you all to this August evening.
Distinguished guests, dear brothers and sisters and friends, we are crossing an important milestone in the history of the Carmelites in India. Celebrations like this come once in 400 years. I do not know who will be present for the 5th centenary celebrations. So here we are, a great assembly of the Carmelites from all over the country of India, 7 provinces, 3 regional vicariates, 2 provincial delegates, 35 cloister Carmels, 17 Carmelite congregations, of which 8 originated in India, the secular Carmelite members, and our extended family, benefactors, friends, and well-wishers. We gathered in the cathedral a little while ago to thank God for the past 400 years. In the words of Saint Therese of Lisieux, has been a grace. Now it is a time to celebrate our fellowship by recalling our glorious past, and through it all we wish to declare, in the words of our Holy Mother Saint Therese of Avila, that God alone suffices, solo Dios basta. I consider myself extraordinarily privileged to welcome you all to this unique occasion on behalf of an Inter-Provincial Conference of India, IPCI, and all Indian Carmelite family. We are blessed with the presence of His Eminence George Cardinal Allencherry, Major Archbishop of the Syro-Malabar Church, who is the chief guest of this evening's program. This morning, he presided over an international seminar at Dharmaram Vidya Kshetra, Bangalore, and traveled all the way from there to be with us this evening. When Father Sebastian Kudapatu, the provincial of Malabar province, approached him on our behalf, he readily accepted our invitation to be part of our 4th centennial celebration. I request Father Sebastian Kudapatu, the provincial of Malabar, to escort him to the dais, and Sister Vidya, CSST provincial, will offer him the flower bouquet. Come. Center. I'm indeed happy to welcome Very Reverend Father Saverio Canista, our Superior General. He has been in Goa for the past week, guiding the deliberations during our extraordinary definitive at St. Joseph was Spiritual Renewal Center, Old Goa. He will preside over this evening function. May I request Father Agustin Mullu, the provincial of Manjumail province, to escort him to the dais, and Sister Molly, CCR Assistant General, will offer him the flower bouquet. Sister. We have 3 bishops who are shepherds of our territories, where Carmelite vicars apostolics have served or lived for several years. Most Reverend Philip Neri Ferrao, the Archbishop of Goa and Daman, and recently elected President of the Conference of the Catholic Bishops of India, CCBI, is a very dear friend of the Carmelites who supports our presence and our apostolate in his archdiocese. A while ago, he presided over the Eucharist, and now he is our guest of honor. I request Father Jason Kaimaturatil, the provincial of the South Kerala, to escort him, and Sister Arpita, CTC General Councillor, will give him the flower bouquet. Most Reverend Aloysius Paul D'Souza, the Bishop Emeritus of Mangalore, expressed his delight to join our celebrations due to his close proximity with the Carmelites in his diocese. He was the chief guest at the inaugural function this morning. I request Father Thomas Reddy, the Provincial of Andhra Pradesh, to escort him, and Sister Fiona CM will offer the flower bouquet. I know most Reverend Derek Fernandes personally from the time we were studying in Rome. We Carmelites are extremely happy that he has made time to be with us, though he has to rush back home for another program tomorrow morning. Our presence in his diocese is a symbolic continuation of what happened 400 years ago when Carmelites were asked to leave Old Goa. They found refuge in Sunkeri, at present Karwar Diocese. I request Father Arul Raj, the Provincial of Tamil Nadu, to escort him, and Father Bernardine Lewis, the founder of Carmelite of Divine Mercy, will offer him the bouquet. Very Reverend Father Paul Achandi is the Prayer General of the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, CMI. They share in our Carmelite charism, and we are proud that it is the first indigenous congregation for men religious in India. I request Reverend Father Abraham, the Provincial of New Delhi, to escort him, and Sister Aida Barbosa AC, Provincial Councillor, will offer him the flower bouquet. It is a delight to welcome Very Reverend Sister Chris, the Superior General of the Carmelite Sisters of St. Teresa, as a representative of all the Carmelites congregations for women who are born or serve in India. Sister Chris has been re-elected Superior General for a second term and is accompanied by her entire generalate team and all the CSST provincials in India. May I request Father Jason Kaimattuturatil, the Provincial of South Kerala, to escort Sister Chris, and Mrs. Elizabeth Santosh Vusidias will offer the flower bouquet. Reverend Sister Shanti Anthony, MSST, Superior General of the Missionary Sisters of St. Therese, we are proud of this congregation which was born in India like other 7 congregations. She will be escorted by Father Sylvester de Souza, and the flower bouquet will be offered by Mr. Roy Rodriguez, OCDS. Reverend Father John S. Gorantla is the Definitor General of our Order for South Asia. He takes keen interest in the life and activities of all the friars and nuns in this region. We are very happy to have such a young and dynamic friar to lead us. Through his qualities of mind and heart, he has contributed a lot to the order, first as provincial of Andhra Pradesh and now as assistant to our Superior General in Rome. I request Brother Mark Nadia Kalayil, the provincial delegate of Ranchi Mission, to escort him, and Father Robin Okam for bouquet. Carmelite order, besides the cloistered nuns, has another third branch, the secular Carmel. They are the most numerous among 3 branches and have their own formation program and commitment through promises and vows. We are indeed delighted that there is a big representation of OCDS, which shows the spirit of belongingness they nurture to the order in spite of their life and work in the secular world. On behalf of all the secular Carmelites present here, I invite Mrs. Sheila Frederick from South Kerala province to the dais, and Father Xavier Jairaj will offer her we have very distinguished guests. 6 more general definitors from Rome, representing 6 regions of the order, 64 provincial superiors of our order, representing 83 countries of the world, and all the provincials present here of various congregations in India. Reverend Father Jose Remedios Fernandes, Vicar General of the Archdiocese of Goa, Reverend Father Tony OFM, the Episcopal Vicar for Religious, and Reverend Father Paul Alvarez, OFM CAP, the President of CRI Goa. To all of you, very hearty welcome. A cordial welcome to all the diocesan priests and religious. Humbly welcome to Carmelite fathers, brothers, scholastics, sisters, benefactors, well-wishers, and friends. Wish you all a very pleasant evening.
Dear friends, Carmelites are all inclusive, and my provincial Father Charles Serravo has left no one and invited everyone and welcomed everyone and make us all feel at home. We welcome Father Charles, my provincial, to this function. Let's give a big round of applause to the IPCI President, Father Charles Serravo. I was a novice. And in those days, my novice master was Father Francis Gregory of happy memory, uncle of Archbishop Daniel Acharu Parambel, 3 times provincial, a strict man. And as I am naughty now, in those days also I was a bit naughty. In our corridor there were lots of placards that read, "Silence, silence," the quotation of Leo XIII, everything was placed in Pothanur in Tamil Nadu. One fine day, I was walking the corridor looking right, left, everywhere. Novice master drew my attention. "Funny fellow, where are you looking? Come here." I went, "Praise be Lord Jesus Christ." He said, "Where are you looking like a wild bull?" "Look down, 6 feet is your grave," he said. That day I looked down, never thereafter. I think all these years we Carmelites have been looking down. As a result, we did not know our past. We did not know our glorious history in Goa. Someone helped us. Someone awakened us that we should not only look down, we should look into the past, look at our history. That is none other than Mr. John Marshall. John Marshall was a postulant. I was teaching history. And I found very enthusiastic he was. He was reading many books and asking several questions. I said, "Why don't you do research?" He's already a scholar in microbiology. He has done lots of research on Pandyans and others. So, as a Carmelite, he began his research. He continued. He did not continue as a novice, but he continued his research, uninterrupted studies for the last 2.5 years. Though he doesn't speak Konkani, every place which is known for Carmelites, may it be a tiny chapel, maybe the ruins, maybe a stone, anything that is raised in the name of Carmelites, he went and visited, photographed, recorded. I appreciate his research, passion towards Carmelite history. And you heard him this morning passionately speaking that Goa is the cradle of Carmel. And he has written 2 volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1 of the history of the foundation of Carmel here is in our hands. Here we have His Eminence Cardinal Allencherry. He has just, after finishing one program, as Father Charles said, he is here with us. We request His Eminence to release this book, and I request the author of the book, John Marshall, to come forward and place the book in the hands of His Eminence, so that when he releases the book, we are reminded of the history of the past, our cradle, Convento de Carmo in Old Goa. Come, you take this. Hey. Hey. from Tamil Nadu. He was not from Karnataka, Goa province. He is from the province of Tamil Nadu, from Kanyakumari district. During his research, his father met with an accident and he went back home to take care of him for 3 months. In spite of all these struggles, he carried on his research, and to this day he has brought out his works in 2 volumes. We really appreciate John Marshall for this great work. Cardinal Allencherry is well known to us, head of the Syro-Malabar Church as the major archbishop. Once I was in New York, I found him addressing a large gathering there. Then he was in Rome, then he was in Delhi. He is all over. And now, when we requested, at the behest of the provincial of Malabar province, Sebastian Kudapat, he has deigned His Majesty to be here with us. We thank him for his presence, his simplicity, his relationship with everybody, his ecclesial outlook are appreciated all over Kerala and India. We certainly look forward to listen to his message this evening, addressing all the Carmelites, the entire Carmelite family. We request Your Eminence to address us this evening.
Your Grace, Archbishop Philip Neri Frau, Patriarch of Goa and Daman, Very Reverend Father Saverio Canistra, Superior General of the discussed Carmelites, my dear brother bishops on the dais, and my dear distinguished brothers and sisters of the Carmelite family on the dais, dear very reverend fathers, very reverend sisters, dear brothers and sisters, I give you all my greetings of the day. It is with great joy that I am here to join the 4th centenary celebrations of the foundation of our first canonically erected house of the Carmelites in India, in Goa. It was in 1642 that 2 of the members of the house, of this house, namely Father Joseph Alexius OCD and his companion, came to Kuravalangad in Kerala, a center of St. Thomas Christians, and met the Archdeacon Thomas with the intention of establishing a house among the St. Thomas Christians. I have my relationships with the Carmelites of Kerala more than the Carmelites elsewhere. So this was the beginning of the relationship of the Carmelites with the St. Thomas Christians. 2 Carmelites coming to Kerala and requesting the Archdeacon Thomas to establish a house there in Kerala. You know that the St. Thomas Christians had a system of church administration in which the bishops had the leadership of an archdeacon for the administration of the church. And that is why these 2 Carmelites approached him to start a house. But for mixed reasons of the then administration of the church, I put it only like that, the rest you can make a research. And these 2 Carmelites could not start a house there. But the St. Thomas Christians did not lose heart, nor the Archdeacon. They welcomed the Carmelites and they requested the prior of Carmelites of Goa to send somebody as procurator near the Portuguese governors and the prior of Santa Maria della Scala in Rome as procurator of St. Thomas Christians with the Holy See. So our hierarchical relationship of the St. Thomas Christians starts like that with Rome. When there arose a dissension between the archbishop and the archdeacon, the archbishop of at that time, who was in charge of the St. Thomas Christians also, the latter appealed to the Holy See through his procurator to send some religious other than the Jesuits in order to bring peace to his people. This prompted the Holy See to send 2 Carmelites as apostolic commissaries, one under Father Hyacinth OCD by sea through Portugal, and the other under Father Joseph Sebastiani OCD by land to investigate the situation and suggest a solution. Father Joseph Sebastiani reached first. This happened in 1656. He met the archdeacon and the assembly of St. Thomas Christians. After a year of fruitful service, he returned to Rome. He was sent back to Malabar as a bishop and apostolic vicar of Malabar Vicariate for the St. Thomas Christians. This vicariate later began to be known as Apostolic Vicariate of Verapoli. Once the Dutch conquered Cochin, Monsignor Sebastiani had to leave Malabar. Before leaving Malabar, with the faculty he had from the Pope, he consecrated as his successor a priest by name Chandi Parambil, Alexander del Campo, the first historically known indigenous bishop from Malabar. After a short interruption, the Carmelites were sent by the Holy See for the 3rd time, and it lasted till the end of 20th century. Divided into 3 vicariates, Mangalore in the north, Verapoli in the middle, and Ceylon in the south, they served the entire Church of Malabar Coast from South Canara to Cape Comorin for about 350 years. The most consequential merits of the Carmelite missionaries are to be remembered. Your fathers were intent on the formation of the indigenous clergy by establishing seminaries. They began the seminary at Verapoli, transferred it to Puthanpalli, and finally settled down at Mangalapuzha with 2 seminaries, one for theology and another for philosophy. Through them, you influenced the whole Syro-Malabar Church and also the other sui juris churches in India. I am happy to acknowledge that I am one of the beneficiaries of this seminary formation. I am a Carmelite production in my priestly formation. I remember with gratitude the Carmelite fathers from Spain and India, especially Father Michelangelo OCD and Father Dominic Fernandes OCD. Father Michelangelo OCD was for 1 year my rector. I remember my first conference with him. The first question he put to me was, brother, he had a Spanish accent for his English, so he called me, brother, when did you get your vocation? I said, Father, don't remember a particular moment, but from childhood onwards, I was desiring to become a priest and so on. And then he explained. And then he retorted saying, yes, brother, it is like that. Vocation is not something that you get during vacation. I still remember this incident with him. But only for 1 year he could be with us. And later he was called to Spain. He belonged to the province of Navarra. And I think he became the provincial there. And then he became the rector of the Damasceno College, where the Syro-Malabar priests get their higher education in theology and other subjects in Rome. He lived long. He was a very hefty man. He was a humorous person also. But after him for 6 years, it was Father Dominic Fernandes who was our rector, and with other fathers from Spain. So in my priestly formation, and in the priestly formation of thousands of priests of Kerala and of Tamil Nadu, these Carmelite fathers had a great role to play. I am happy to acknowledge that the Carmelite spirituality has gone deep into the Catholic ethos in Kerala. It is from the Carmelites I learned the values of personal sacrifice and sufferings of the kingdom of God, for the kingdom of God. The Carmelites used to give orientations on the lives of St. Teresa of Lisieux, St. Teresa of Avila, and St. John of the Cross. You can remember the influence they had on us. I myself led the life of St. Teresa of Avila during my seminary formation. The Carmelite is also glad, I also gladly mention that the third order of Carmelites helped in the formation of the laity, and for which also our fathers were of great help. It is also worthy to mention that with Carmelite charism, there grew up two indigenous religious congregations in the Syro-Malabar Church, one for men and another for women, by name CMI, Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, and CMC, Carmelites of Mount Carmel, Congregation of Mount Carmel, both founded by Saint Chavra Kuriakos Elias. Carmelite monasteries of strict observance, I have one in my own present archdiocese, especially of women who through their prayer apostolate are of great support to the church in India. Your forefathers, I address the Carmelites, with their zeal for the salvation of souls, can claim parenthood at the majority of the Latin dioceses of Kerala. Again, the spirituality of the church in Kerala is imbued with the Carmelite spirit and with Carmelite devotions as devotion to the Holy Scapular, to St. Joseph, to Carmelite saints as St. Teresa of Avila, St. Teresa of Child Jesus. Their service was mainly in the camp of holiness and spirituality. Four servants of God, as I remember, testified to this. In the north, Venerable Fathers Aurelian and Zacharias, who were former rectors before Father Michael Angel in St. Joseph's Pontifical Seminary, Alve, both from the province of Navarra. And in the south, the two servants of God, Bishop Aloysius Maria Benziger and Father Adayodatus of St. Peter, both from the province of Flanders, whose mortal remains are in the Church of Carmel Hill Monastery of Malabar Province in Trivandrum. They had also their limitations, the Carmelites, which too I would like to mention as coming from Latin countries. Their contribution in the field of higher education in English was not so admirable. This was the alleged reason, I think, why the people of Mangalore and also to some extent of Kerala were displeased with the Carmelites, and the vicariate passed on to the Jesuits. In this field, the religious congregations they promoted could compensate the defect. In the Syro-Malabar Church, the CMC and CMI are champions of higher education in India. And also the CTC, CSST congregations are also marching ahead with higher education institutions. I would like to make a special mention of Bishop Benziger. His figure is in the hearts and minds of the Syro-Malabar faithful and also of the whole church in Kerala, who worked for unity among the different factions of the Marthoma Christians. The zealous work which he did resulted in the reunion of Mar Ivanios and his followers with the Catholic Church. Bishop Benziger was the instrument in the reunion of the Syro-Malankara Church to the Catholic Church. This will ever be remembered in the history of the Church in India. I am glad to say that through the 4 centuries of your work, the Carmelites in India, in this semi-continent, the mustard seed your fathers had sown in Goa has spread its branches throughout the semi-continent, and you have stamped your zeal through your work in the life of the Christians, especially in Malabar. My dear Carmelites, friends, brothers and sisters, you will ever be remembered in the church, in the history of the church in India, and will continue to remember us. I was really overjoyed to see so many scholastics of just one province of the Carmelites singing the prayer song. So many. So the vocations are still sprouting from our land for the Carmelite vocation. Carmelite life. This will continue not only here, but also in other parts of India. To His Reverence, Very Reverend Father Saverio Canistra, the Superior General of the Order, and to the General Definitors and all you are here, I thank you for the gift of your charism and life which has transformed the Indian Church for the last many centuries. The Syro-Malabar Church is very much indebted to the Carmelites in the past and also to the Malabar province today. I tell you, the Malabar province is flourishing well once it has been approved by the Superior General as a separate province for the Oriental Catholics or the Syro-Malabar Catholics. Your life in India in 7 provinces, various regional vicariates and delegations, comprising all the states of India and all the 3 sui juris churches in India, stands as the fulfillment of the hopes and expectations of the Catholic Church. Our prayer is that the Carmel will brighten up the horizon for the Church both in India and globally. May the Lord bless us all through the blessings of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Amen.
Thank you very much, Your Eminence. You have taken us through a journey from Goa to Kerala, Kerala to Spain, and linked the Latin Church with the Syro-Malabar Church and brought out the beautiful aspects of Carmelite life that vibrate in both Syro-Malabar Church and the Latin Church. May the Church continue its mission in the Garden of Carmel. Thank you for your words of appreciation, Your Eminence. We will keep you in our prayers in the days to come. It is not the time to read big volumes any longer. People want to have glimpses and pictures. Today's society moves with picturesque books. Coffee table books normally tend to be the large books placed in the parlors. We open and read them like albums and have happy memories and begin conversations from these books. That is the definition of a coffee table book. We Carmelites wanted a coffee table book, and the job was entrusted with Father Joseph Ravindran of the Tamil Nadu province. He has done a Herculean job. Gathering material hasn't been easy, and getting all the material together and printed in time, the book is ready. And we have with us here Bishop Derek Fernandes from Karwar. We have requested him to release this book. Bishop Derek is a good friend of the Carmelites. Already Father Charles has mentioned about it. He has another program to rush, but I said, you have to do a job for us. We want to carry on the memories that we have for the generations to come, so that we can leave this book, a picturesque book of the various Carmelite congregations, the entire Carmelite family. Father Joseph Ravindran will hand over the book now, and Bishop Derek will release this book, and we all can carry a copy for each one of us. It is a free book which will carry memories of Carmel. Our steering committee, and he has done a great job. Shall we give a rousing applause to him, thunderous one, and appreciate the hard work that has put in. Thank you, Father Joseph Ravindran. All ears now tuned to listen to Bishop Derek, who is going to speak his heart out about Carmel, because we moved from Goa to Sunkeri. In his diocese, the first parish was of the Carmelites.
Your Eminence, George Cardinal Allencherry, Archbishop Philip Neri Ferrao, the President of the CCBI, as well as Honorary Patriarch of the East, a title which is never spoken of. Bishop Aloysius, the General of the Congregation, Very Reverend Father Saverio Canistra, for the provincials, both fathers and sisters, Reverend sisters, fathers, brothers, and ladies and gentlemen. In his introduction, Father Charles Serron said, I do not know who would be there for the celebration of 500 years. I intend to be there, provided they send me an invitation and make arrangement to transport me from wherever I am. And that's a promise which I would certainly not miss. The second thing I've got a problem is that I've been asked to speak, but I have not been asked to speak how long, how many hours. So hold tight to your chairs. Don't be afraid. It's not going to be very long. is going to be very short, because whatever happened with the Carmelites in Karwar is only an appendix and not certainly the major part of the history of the Carmelites, though there was a time when they were needed to be in Karwar, and I think Karwar served them the best. The third aspect is, I had never known the Carmelites until I was a priest for about 15 years. And the first Carmelites that I met in my life was Father Charles Serraun. That was also not in India, outside India, and I found the Carmelites very good. Now, coming to the matter of today, the history of the Diocese of Karwar is inevitably linked with the history of Goa and the Portuguese mission, as it shares a common legacy of the second round of evangelization in India. Cardinal never spoke about it. The first round of evangelization was with St. Thomas, and maybe St. Bartholomew in Kalyan in Mumbai. For centuries, the pastoral care of the Catholics in Karwar was done by the priests coming from Goa, as it was part of the Archdiocese of Goa. In fact, the churches, chapels were often named after the churches and chapels from the places their missionaries from Goa originated. And one of the famous, name of the churches is Milagres Church. Belgaum has got two, Karwar has got, diocese has got one, and I think the one in Milagres, the Milagres in Bangalore also is of that time. In the second major round of evangelization of India, which began with the arrival of the Portuguese, Karwar had a major role to play, perhaps even before Goa. This historical episode took place at the island called Anjadiv, about 3 kilometers from the coast of Karwar. And Anjadiv, though it is only about 3 kilometers from the coast of Karwar, jurisdictionally it belongs to the Archdiocese of Goa, or the state of Goa rather. And it is said, though it is widely believed, or rather historically it is taken as a fact, that Vasco da Gama first landed in South India, in Kerala. There is a plaque in the island of Anjadiv, which says that Vasco da Gama first landed in 1498 in Anjadiv. And then, historically, maybe he landed wherever he landed in Kerala. I'm not able to get the name right now, but yes. But then, whether he came back on his way back to Portugal to Anjadiv, or he came to Anjadiv and then went south down, we do not know about it. In 1502, for collection of water and repair of the ships during his voyage from Calicut to Portugal, he visited again Anjadiv. In 1505, Don Francesco de Almeida landed at Anjadiv Island to build a church. And this church was completed in 1506. By 1510, the Anjadiv Island became the foundation of Portuguese Empire in the east, when Viceroy Alfonso de Albuquerque took shelter at Anjadiv Island after being repulsed in his attempt to capture Goa. The island thereafter remained under the Portuguese till 1961. If Vasco da Gama visited or landed first in Anjadiv, then Anjadiv was the first place in India where European power arrived and the spread of Christianity in this region began, and where the first Western foot was set on the Indian soil. It was also the last place from where the Western power was finally thrown out during its liberation by the Indian Navy on 18th December 1961, but Portuguese were there in Anjadiv till 22nd December 1961, from where they were sent out. There are two plaques. The photographs of both the plaques I have, and both the plaques speak about these two facts. Because of its strategic geographical location, it served as an important seaport for Greek, Arabs, Egyptian merchants, and trade ships during the period when also the Portuguese ships first embarked India. The island was strategically important for Portuguese defense. That's why fortress and the church, Nossa Senhora da Brotas, Our Lady of the Spring, because that was the only place where they could get sweet water. It was built in 1506, and later the St. Francis de Assisi Chapel was also built, and is considered to be the oldest Roman Catholic church in Asia. This is what I got from information that I have got. There could be others. D. Francesco de Almeida, who reached the island on September 13, 1505, ordered the building of the fortress as well as the chapel. As I said, it was completed in 1506. And then the history, the Portuguese left the place, English came, English left the place, and finally it was in the hands of the Portuguese till 1961. As everybody has said, the Carmelite missionaries arrived in Goa in 1619, and in 1621 built a church there. But around 1700, some of them incurred the displeasure of Portuguese government, and in 1709, an order was issued from Portugal to expel the Carmelites and to seize them as prisoners. When the Carmelites got wind of this order, they fled to Bijapur, and from there in 1709, the Carmelite mission, under the aegis of its vice provincial, Father John Baptist Mary, came to Canara and chose Sunkeri as its mission. Now Sunkeri is within the city of Karwar. The English at Sunkeri welcomed them and also donated a piece of land in the factory premises, which was closed, where they built a house and a church. On 4th April 1717, the then pastor, Father John Baptist Mary, was ordained a bishop in Sunkeri. And he was a bishop not for Karwar, he was a bishop meant for the Archdiocese of Goa, rather the Patriarchate of Goa. Of course, this was just a small little hut, and the first church was built only in 1721. In 1761, the old church was pulled down and a new church was built. But in 1763, the entire area was taken over by Hyder Ali during the rule of his son Tipu Sultan in 1784. The Sunkeri church was destroyed, and the Christians fled from Sunkeri. It is said some of them went to the island of Anjadiv. After the death of Tipu Sultan in 1799, Father Francis Xavier of St. Anne was sent to revive the Sunkeri mission. but he could reach there via Mallapur. Mallapur also another small little village very close to Sunkeri in the diocese of Karwar, only on 13th April 1801. He was a zealous pastor. He not only rebuilt the church in 1803, but also ministered unto the flock assiduously till 1831. No wonder his shepherding qualities were recognized, and he was transferred to Malabar as Vicar Apostolic and made Archbishop in 1831 and remained there till 1844. So Cardinal, he came from Karwar. In between, there was a military rebellion in Goa against the Viceroy, and the Archbishop of Goa, Galdino, fled to Sunkeri, where he remained till 1823. So Sunkeri was a very important place to be in exile. Other than Bishop Francis Xavier, stalwarts like Father Innocentius of St. Leopold of Germany. His brother was a cardinal, Cardinal Lord Kolinitz, Cardinal Archbishop of Vienna. Father Innocentius of Presentation, also from Germany, who retired as Vicar Apostolic of Malabar and died in Sunkeri. We tried to trace his grave, but we did not succeed. These have also shepherded Sunkeri. The parish priest told me the graveyard of Sunkeri Church is a veritable resting place to these and the other pioneers of Sunkeri mission, but today nothing is available because it is on the bank of the river Kali, and things must have been washed away. The church that Bishop Francis Xavier built stood the test of time till it was felt that it was no longer safe and it was dilapidated, in a dilapidated condition. The new church of the Immaculate Conception was built on the same place as the previous church in the original octagonal shape. It was consecrated on May 9th, 1997. But the Carmelites was not there. It is under and was under the diocesan priests. As somebody mentioned here, in order to bring back the old link, Carmelite approached the then Bishop William de Mello for a place, and today they have a monastery in a small little place called Matatakeri, very close to Honava. They have made an impact, and perhaps this will explain what type of impact. 2 years ago, I recruited a seminarian for the minor seminary from a place called Kumta. After about a week, he came and told me, I would like to join the Carmelites. I asked him why. He said, your dress is useless. The dress of the Carmelite is excellent. I said, for the sake of the dress, Baba, please go. And I do not know what happened to him because I met him recently. I do not know what is the situation today. So that is the impact of the Carmelites in Karwar Diocese. Well, the history of Carmelites in India bears a very strong mark of evangelization through sacrifice. As Archbishop Philip Neri said towards the end of the Mass, we have a mission. It is not that we have a mission, we are the mission. These are the words of Pope Francis. And I think that is what is needed today, and that's what the order of the Carmelites has been supplying for the past many, many years. They lived through good times, they lived through persecution, they lived in exile, and Karwar was a place for exile for them. but then they struggled to preach and spread the good news of Jesus Christ. The same is being continued, and I wish them all the best so that the church could be planted at every nook and corner of this world. Thank you very much.
Dear Bishop Derek, thank you very much for recognizing the evangelization of the Carmelites in your diocese and the hard work they have done elsewhere, and giving us a pat on the back to continue the mission. So we have a beautiful program that is coming up on stage. I request the dignitaries on the dais to move on to the front seats here and facilitate the next item. One fine day I was walking with Father Bernard Nunes of happy memory. He is from Vasai, Bombay. And he came across a Carmelite nun. I don't want to mention from which congregation. He knew her. So they both got into a conversation for a while. And then all of a sudden there came another priest from Goa by name Father John of the Cross. He was here in Margaon Monastery for a long time. He too is of happy memory. As Father John of the Cross continued the conversation for a long time, then we moved few yards away, and I was keeping on chatting with Father Bernard Nunes. Then Bernard Nunes in between just asked me, Archie, do you know what is eternity? I said, eternity is to be in the presence of God forever and ever, which is after death. No, you do not know what is eternity. Look, that is eternity. Eternity is a conversation between a priest and nun that never stops. I think we are going to enter into eternity now. Because we have got Kefenchi Noketra, Kefenchi Tara, a troupe led by Elvis Goes. Elvis Goes is known as Prince of Mando. He has performed in nearly 20 odd countries, in Africa, in Europe, in America, elsewhere. His performance has been appreciated. United Nations Peacekeeping Force had specially called him to perform for their troops elsewhere. And in all over Goa, Elvis Goes resounds with his music, and he and his troupe are going to perform here with a special item called Dekni. All your eyes glued onto the stage to see Elvis Goes with his troupe.
Check 1, 2. It's a pleasure to be performing before you, distinguished guests. Just to get you into the groove, I shall sing a simple chorus which speaks about Goa. And this is how it goes. I would want you all to sing with me, then we'll follow it up with the Dekni. Goa, 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 Karzatso Goa. Goa, 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 Hamso Viswas Goa. Did you get it? It's quite catchy. Shall we sing it again? Goa, 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 colors are all Goa. Goa, 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 I'm told it was Goa. Let's all sing it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Colors are all Goa. Goa, 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 I'm told it was Goa. Itlay aunde amcha kalzache, pure doya muka. Lewate amcha sopnache, tauche asan sakar. Itni paula amcha payache, uchi asan muka. Ozuna miko tolasa, surgutam sosa. Let's sing together. Goa, 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 Narizat all Goa. Goa, 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 I'm told it's was Goa. One last time. Goa, 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 Narizat all Goa. Goa, 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 I'm told it's was Goa. That was Goa for you. Coming up next for you is the very traditional Goan folk art form of traditional folk art form of Goa. It's called the Daikni. Damulya matwa musku wazota Kamus ganchanada Kawantu natso zota kamuskancha nada kolotna zota hey parwatecha dongra muskula zota kamuskancha nada kolotna zota
Chapayan ni paisana keka saiba
makana kago
koila da
Angrari Namo je madre Udo tu Congress alar namo je madre
Chuti modriya
Apolia
Moja ponti food and boys daily
boys daily
Soyare how dekni na chota
Soyare how dekni na chota Barzala enari barzala Shunta mograncho Barzala enari barzala Shunta mograncho
Chuti mogri zali savai
Kunumba kunakago
Moja nakadle Sale
Age nari tu janakan lenote nakasori Age nari tu janakan lenote nakasori Gunmak nakago
Moja paya ni paisana Sale
nari tu chapaya lipai zola paya sori age nari tu chapaya lipai zola paya sori kurmak nakago
Sai papa tari rata
Hausaiba poltori veta typical Goan folklore by Elvis Goes Kepechi in Kirna. Once again, thundering applause to this troupe who have given a taste of Goa to carry happy memories home. The celebration of 400 years hasn't been easy. We had several events that took place one after the other for the last 1 week. Morning came, evening came the first day. Morning came, evening came the second day. He said, what is going to happen after Sunday? It is going to be a holiday. Well, we have got certain personalities who have really helped us to conduct this event so very meaningfully. As I call their names, they will be coming forward and receiving a memento from our very Reverend Father General Saverio Canistra and our Vicar General Agusti Burrell. I request them both come to the dais and distribute these mementos as an appreciation for the service they have rendered to us. First and foremost, I invite Mr. B.S. Bantia, a Supreme Court advocate who helped us with regard to the litigation of the property and to recover this property of the historical value where once convent to the Carmo and the ruins stand today. Please give him a rousing applause for the B.S. Bantia representing Madhya Pradesh in the Supreme Court. He comes all the way from Bhopal. We have Mr. Hilary D'Souza, a friend and well-wisher of the Carmelites, all the times ready to help. I request Mr. Hilary D'Souza to come forward. You knock at his door any time of the day or night. He is available to help us, and he has been a great support in realizing this project. Souvenir Canistra, and thank you for the Vicar General Augusti Borrell for giving out these mementos and expressing our appreciation in the name of the Carmelite family to all these collaborators of this event. What is next? We are bringing out a souvenir in honor of these 400 years. We have the General of the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, Very Reverend Dr. Paul Achande. He was there this morning. He has been moderated a session. Now he will come over to the dais and release this souvenir. I request Father Savio Babu, who has toiled night and day to prepare this souvenir, to come forward and present this souvenir in the hands of Father Paul Achande. And once the souvenir is complete, we will be certainly getting a copy of this souvenir. Words of appreciation to Father Savio Babu. He is in the steering committee from Andhra Pradesh. We will have a few words from Very Reverend Father Paul Achande, the Prior General of CMI.
So, Your Beatitude, Your Grace, Your Excellency, esteemed Superior General, our fathers, sisters and brothers, we salute the Carmelites, OCD fathers. You are the pride of India. Our own beloved founder, Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavra, had a wonderful spiritual guide in Leopold the Beccaro. And we continue the legacy still today. This year, our annual retreat has been guided by an OCD priest. Our monthly recollections are constantly guided by OCD priests, last one by Father Justin Panagil. Again, they come for hearing our confession. And they are a great source of spiritual enlightenment for CMI family. On behalf of the entire Carmelite family, we appreciate the great services rendered by OCD community. When I visited the Superior General in Rome in their generalate, they have been very generous in according a cordial welcome and working together as one community. I'm sure within a short time, Superior General and team will visit our own generalate. So we have that kind of a friendly rapport. I'm sure the entire Carmelite family appreciates your service. You are the pride because you are the missionaries in this land, and we celebrate today just because you were missionaries. And Carmelite family as such had a lot of journeys from Mount Carmel, from Prophet Elijah, and other prophets. And definitely we continue that sojourn, that journey and pilgrimage. Of course, most of the congregations in Carmelite family had troubled times, dark nights, persecutions, at some point of time desperations and sorrows. Even our own family had its own tough time and difficult times. But God has, in His loving providence, has guided our destinies. So without taking much time, I do want to congratulate all of you, and I salute the entire OCD family. Wonderful, this great event. Congratulations, I remain. Thank you.
We need to really appreciate Father Paul Achande for succinctly giving a message and giving a pat on the back to the entire OCD family for organizing this event. Thank you, dear Father. Our Father General says, I want to give the presidential address right now. I'll be speaking just few words, but I want to speak my heart to all the Carmelite family members gathered here. Over to our dear Father General, who is always short and sweet, and being a scholar, he speaks always to the point and gives us a beautiful message. And we have heard him before, and we are looking forward to hear you now, dear Father.
Your Eminence, Cardinal Allencherry, Your Grace Philip Neri, Your Excellency, Bishops, my dear Carmelite brothers and sisters, and dear friends, it is indeed with great joy that I am standing here. Not only myself as the General of the Order of the Discalced Carmelites, but also all the dignitaries, provincial superiors of the entire world, and you, the brothers and sisters of the entire Carmelite family of India, are present here to participate in this great event. We are here to commemorate the 400 years of a Carmelite presence in India. It is a historical and proud moment for the whole Carmelite family. These were years of grace, years of great service to the building of the church, and years of great efforts to implant the charism and diffuse the spirituality. The birth of so many institutes in India inspired by the Carmelite spirituality is amazing. The Order is proud of the Carmelite family in India for what you are and for what you do. In these past 100 years, you have succeeded to a great extent in diffusing our spiritual patrimony all over India. The missionary initiatives of the Carmelites in India stand exemplary. This proves that you have imbibed the Theresian missionary zeal and the fervor of the early missionaries. It is an opportune time to thank and praise God. I take this opportunity in the name of the Order to congratulate and thank the whole Carmelite family in India for your united efforts to live the Carmelite spirit and diffuse the spirituality. May this celebration of the 400 years of our presence in India bring many more blessings on all of you and increase your enthusiasm and commitment in living and spreading our spiritual patrimony. I especially congratulate at this moment all the Indian OCD provincials for working together and make this a grand celebration. In particular, I would like to appreciate the President of the IPCI and Karnataka Goa Provincial, Father Charles Rao, for leading this from forefront, and Father Archibald, the Superior of Margao Monastery, and all the committee members from other provinces. You have put together all your talents and resources to make this celebration so grand. With gratitude to God and sincere appreciation to all of you, I conclude. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Dear Father General, you have always been appreciating what Indian Carmel is all about, and you have been looking forward to a bright future from the Indian Carmel youth that you have been seeing here. Your words have touched our hearts. We carry home the message to be zealous Carmelites, to carry on this patrimony which we have been living for the last 400 years here in Goa and the rest of India. Thank you, dear Father General. A big round of applause to Father General for his touching message. We are not concluding the program. Our artists are ready there with the key item of the day, Solo Dios Basta. You should not go without seeing this item. They have been preparing for the last 2 months intensely. Before that, here comes Father Johannes. Father Johannes Gorantla, he is from Andhra. He was the youngest provincial of India, and he is the youngest dignitary general now. And representing the whole of Southeast Asia, Father Johannes Gorantla has taken the leadership of the event, that is the extraordinary dignitary. I think if not for his leadership, we would not have held this program here in Goa. Thank you, Father Johannes, for the wonderful service that you have rendered to the Carmelites of Karnataka, Goa province, and the Carmelites of India. Your leadership is always appreciated by us. Certainly you should be the one to render the vote of thanks and appreciate the services of all the persons who made this event so memorable.
I didn't know that half of them have gone already. All the chairs are empty. I'm given a very important role to remember and thank all those who made the celebration possible and successful. If I were to sit in your place, I would consider this as the most boring part of the event. But now I'm here, and even if you curse, I will have to name everyone without fail. But I would like to say a few words before doing that. Dear brothers and sisters, no doubt this is another big event that the Carmelite family of India is celebrating after the celebration of 5th birth centenary of St. Teresa of Avila at Allencherry in 2015. Today, the whole Carmelite family in India has come together in a spirit of great communion to commemorate their origins and go back to 1619. It's something amazing and historical. I, as the definitor for the South Asia and in particular for India, feel proud and appreciate your manifestation of such a great communion. Carmel in India in these 400 years had saints and great missionaries and visionaries who founded and fashioned the Indian Carmel the way it is now. We are proud of them and remember them with great joy and gratitude today. We have served the Church of India a lot more than people often know or speak about, but we were and still are silent workers in the Church. Can you imagine the good that our cloistered nuns are doing to the Church of India through their prayer? A lot. Our spirituality centers, our preaching, innumerable retreats all over India, our pastoral services, our works of etc. We do all this not for earthly glory, as our Holy Mother St. Teresa said, and our little Therese reaffirmed. We too say today, once again, we are sons and daughters of the Church. May we continue to be so in the years to come. This is my prayer and wish for the Indian Carmel. We have thanked God through the Eucharistic celebration for His great showers of blessings. We thank our Blessed Mother Mary for her maternal protection and guidance in all these years. On behalf of the Carmelite family of India, I express my profound gratitude to His Eminence Cardinal Allencherry, the head of the Syro-Malabar Church. Your Eminence, your presence meant a lot for us this evening, and we appreciate sincerely for your message that enlightened us on our past and for acknowledging our contribution to the Church of India at large. Thank you, Your Eminence. His Grace, Most Reverend Philip Neri, the Patriarch of Goa, had been a great support for us from the time we began our plans for this celebration. I have heard, seen, and experienced His Grace's appreciation and affection towards the Carmelites of the past and the present. Your Grace, words would not be sufficient to thank you adequately. Thank you, Your Grace, for being with us this evening, presiding over the Eucharistic celebration and giving us a beautiful message, inspiring message. We especially thank Father General and the members of the Extraordinary Definitary. Thank you. And we especially Father General and members of the Extraordinary Definitary, thank you, Your Grace. And also we thank Father Henry, the Director of St. Joseph Spirituality Center, because we had a wonderful stay at your place. We really enjoyed being there these days. You all had been so kind and gentle towards us. Our sincere appreciation and thanks to Most Reverend Aloysius Paul D'Souza, Bishop Emeritus of Mangalore, for presiding over the inaugural session this morning and for expressing his appreciation to the presence and the service of the Carmelites in his diocese. Thank you, Your Excellency, Bishop Derek Fernandes, Bishop of Carver, for your presence and for releasing the coffee table book. The entire Carmelite family of India is so enthusiastic and thankful that you, dear Father Saverio Canistra, the Superior General of the Discalced Carmelites, the General Definitors, and the provincials of the whole order are present here. It is in fact your coming to Goa that has inspired, motivated, and made this mega event possible. We thank you all sincerely for your presence and for your beautiful message. We are so much honored to have the presence of Reverend Father Paul Chandy, the Superior General of CMI, the Sister Christie, the Superior General of CSST, and Superior General of MST, and other General Councillors, Provincials, Regional Superiors of various Carmelite congregations. Thank you very much for all of you. Please have little patience. I cannot miss anyone because they would not forgive me if I miss them. We thank sincerely Father Alfred Voss, the parish priest of the cathedral, who facilitated to celebrate this event at this beautiful place. Father Sebi Voss, the assistant parish priest of the cathedral, who trained and conducted the choir. We thank the AC sisters for assisting the liturgy, and also Sister Juliet, superior of the community of Handmaids of Christ here. Sincere appreciation and thanks to Reverend Father Charles, the President of the Interprovincial Council of India and KG Provincial, who led from forefront along with the other OCD provincials of India. Many of our fathers have worked from months for the success of this event. Father Archibald Gonsalves, the Superior of Margao, is the President of the steering committee that consisted of the members from all the provinces, and Father Wilfred Rodriguez, the convener of the Carmelite family of India. Dear Father Archie, and you all dear fathers, you have done a wonderful job, and hats off to your commitment, hard work, and meticulous planning and execution. Congratulations and thank you. Finally, to conclude, thanks to the MCs of today's program, Father Archie, who kept us all alive and active during all this time. For Father Prasad Thiruvat, that organized the seminar, the moderators, the speakers. For Alvin Sequeira for the anthem. The girls for Bharatanatyam, Goan cultural troupe, people that helped us for the Shamiana and seating arrangements, light and sound program, delicious caterers led by Mr. Francis. All deserve our appreciation and profound gratitude. Once again, thank you all dear members of the Carmelite family, OCD fathers and students from all the provinces, the OCD members and all our friends, OCDS members, and all our friends and well-wishers for your cooperation in making this event such a great success. I think I have covered everyone. If anyone is missing, please know that we appreciate and thank you. Thank you very much.
Dear Father Johannes, the job cut out for you wasn't certainly easy after having such a program to thank everyone. You are not left anyone, and you have thanked and expressed our gratefulness to all those who helped us to organize this event. Now here is Father Alan Tavares ready in the forefront, leading his troop for Solo Dios Basta. Father Alan Tavares has his doctorates in acoustics and designing the churches, and he has been a well-known name in performing light and sound programs not only in Goa but elsewhere in the whole of India. And this performance this evening is specially prepared to give us a glimpse of Carmel in whole of India. You will certainly enjoy it. I wouldn't take much time. I certainly pass the mic to Father Alan Tavares. Give me a big round of applause, and we are tuned to Father.
Check. Test.
Test. Test. Test. Test. Make it a little loud.
Test.
Check 1, 2. Check.
Check. Check. Check. Test. Test.
Test.
Check.
Check. Test. Test.
I remember when her mother died, she threw herself before the Mother of God with many tears in her eyes. She prayed to the Holy Virgin to be her mother now. As tears rolled down her eyes with simplicity of a child, her prayers were heard and she was restored. During her teens, fascinated she was by charm and beauty, made friends aplenty. And as she pleasured into the worldly, she was not at peace. She thought she was living in sin. How could she judge herself so harshly when she loved her God so deeply? She joined the convent and fell ill as soon as she became a nun. This was a time of pain and turbulence, a pain so severe, and yet she felt joy. She felt His presence through some mind-boggling visions. Teresa of Avila is what we call her. Some celestial horizons is what this lady is out to conquer.
This holy hill, Mount Carmel, was the manger of life divine. Some men made it their abode, dedicating their life to God. This holy hill, Mount Carmel, was the manger of life divine. Some men made it their abode, dedicating their life to God. Our Lady of Mount Carmel was the patron of life martyr. was to bless the Eastern world. Our Lady of Mount Carmel was the patron of life model, a life of silence and prayer was to bless the Eastern world. Oh Lord, there is something within urging me. Please tell me, let me know thy will. Oh Lord, there is something within urging me. Please tell me, let me know thy will.
Teresa is waiting for her confessor, Father Francis de Borja, appointed in Spain by Father Augustine Loyola, Ignatius Loyola, as Commissary General.
Oh, Teresa, you look peaceful today. Smile on your face makes you calm and clear.
Thank you, Senor Padre, for helping me find myself.
Oh, Teresa, what brings you now?
Senor Padre, it's my birthday today, and I've got something special. I've baked it myself just for you.
This smells really nice.
Thank you, Senor Padre.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wish you a happy birthday. May Almighty God bless you with.
Disturb you, let nothing affright you. Be patient, oh dear, for all things pass. Only God changes not.
Yes, God alone suffices. I did nothing else. Whoever has God has it all. Yes, God alone suffices. I need nothing else. Whoever has God has it all.
It's God who seeks us out, and simply just wait. The seeker and the lover is God, not us. We only need to persist in being present to His Majesty. In being present to His Majesty.
you, Senor Padre. You have taught me to persist and to pay loving attention to my God within. From now on, I will do everything to please my God.
And His grace is sufficient for you. Go and glorify Him.
Hello, Brother John. How are you?
I'm fine, Teresa. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Brother John, I wanted to meet you. I have something very important to discuss. Can we discuss now?
Yes, go on.
Brother John, I was thinking, we Carmelites need to be simple and poor. What do you think?
Yes.
I want to knock off my shoes.
Knock off your shoes?
Yes, I mean the comforts that we've gathered along the way.
Oh.
Why don't we call ourselves the Discalced Carmelites? What do you think?
Meaning shoeless Carmelites?
Yes.
Sounds crazy. I'm ready to go shoeless anytime.
I'll figure out with the Lord what He wants us nuns to do to reform our way of life. While you ask the Lord in prayer, what would suit your men?
Yes. Carmelite men too will have to have a very austere life. Prayer, penance.
Brother John, please. I'm not too fascinated with this overdose of austerity. It's not just about prayer, meditation and penance. There's much more to it. We're called to do something bigger. We need to reform ourselves. Brother John, this is not happening. Brother John, if you're called to be the Discalced Carmelites, we need to be different. If God wants us to be charming, then why sit with a long face? No, Brother John, no. Brother John, do you think if we sit with a long face, are we going to attract those charming souls to our way of life? They'll run away, Brother John, they'll run away.
But austerity alone will save us from not perishing. Charming comforts can be a trap again.
Brother John, we are called to bring joy to others. We need to tell people the joyful story of salvation. What we experience in prayer, we are called to tell to the ends of the earth. Brother John, I think we will neither be only contemplatives nor only missionaries. We should be both contemplatives and missionaries. What do you think?
That's complex, yet makes sense now to me. I thank God for sharing with us His own vision.
Brother John, yes. It's about Him. It's not about us. It's His charming plan that He has for His beautiful creation, the humankind.
Yes, God will bless our path.
Yes.
Priest of Avila, in reforming the Carmelite order, gave back to the church during the time of Counter-Reformation a rich spirituality with true humility, a spirituality which was both contemplative and missionary. Thus, the Descalzed Carmelite of Teresa of Avila not only corrected by their way of life the worldliness that had crept into religious life, but also showed a realistic path of finding God and manifesting Christ in all things. In 1562, Teresa of Avila, with the blessings of Pope Paul IV, founded the convent of St. Joseph. In 1568, along with John of the Cross, she founded the Reformed Order for Carmelite men. Between 1567 and 1582, she founded 16 convents .
In 1600, Pope Clement VIII had a beautiful dream for the Carmelites in Persia. However, the Carmelite superiors in Spain refused to oblige the Pope. Pope Clement thus formed an Italian congregation of the Descalzed Carmelites. What a bold step indeed! Such a radical step is justified only by the unflinching conviction that it would be Carmelites who would usher in the new era of the Church of the Propagandae Fidei in the East. Setting to sail to Persia in 1604.
Your Highness, the Carmelites are here to see you.
Welcome to Persia, you holy man from Italia.
Thank you, Your Majesty. We are honored with this warm and royal welcome.
It's all yours. You have been so generous to our invitation. We have a common machine. You will live here at my royal residence at Maidan Mead. My men will assure your comfort and your safety.
We are pleased indeed. We bring greetings and a decree from His Holiness Pope Clement VIII.
My respect to His Holiness.
اگه عاشق و مستم، اگه دیوونه هستم، اگه خالی دستم، اگه بت میپرستم، اگه خوبم بدم اینم که هستم، نمیدونی بدون تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. از تو ما بسازیم، بیا از قطره ها دریا بسازیم، بیا دستاتو بگذار توی دستم که جز تو از همه خسته خستم. بیا از من و از تو ما بسازیم، بیا از قطره ها دریا بسازیم، بیا دستاتو بگذار توی دستم که جز تو از همه خسته خستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. اگه عاشق و مستم، اگه دیوونه هستم، اگه خالی دستم، اگه بت میپرستم، اگه خوبم بدم اینم که هستم، نمیدونی بدون تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم. آره دل به تو بستم، فقط تو رو میپرستم.
ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಚೆಕ್ 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 ಹಾಂ ಹೋಗ ಹೋಗ
Give me this one. Get. Come, books. One second. Come, books. And Test.
Mother Church has entrusted unto the hands of the Carmelites the dream of propaganda fide. Let's wait and watch how the Carmelites live up to this dream.
you walked your path. You made God alone suffice. You left us a legacy, snatched from our Savior's heart. Blessed indeed are you, Blessed Teresa, our founder, our mother, our saint for the modern times.
Charming, you were brilliant, unassuming. When they laughed at you and your visions, you trusted your confessor.
Blessed indeed are you, Blessed Teresa, our founder, our mother, our saint for the modern time.
The midst of tempting trial, in the midst of suffering, you discovered His charming presence. You let His voice resound within.
Blessed indeed are you,
Blessed Teresa,
our founder, our mother, our saint for the modern time. Blessed indeed are you, Blessed Teresa, our founder, our mother, our saint for the modern time.
Hey, Benigno, you know what? We are blessed also because of the friendship that Teresa shared with the Jesuits. You know, especially her confessor, Father Borgia.
The Jesuits have been our great benefactors.
Yes.
When I went to Goa in October 1610, they took great care of me.
Oh.
They were concerned about all of us here in Persia.
Very nice.
Their contributions, truly I say to you, have been of great help to us to survive over here.
I agree. Although His Holiness Pope Clement VIII was generous enough in promising us of financial assistance, we hardly received any financial subsidy via Turkey.
Yes, John, yes, you're right. We will have to pitch our tents down there in Goa if we are to survive here in Persia.
Vincent, I remember when you went to Goa in 1612, 2 years after me.
Yes, yes.
You recruited some Portuguese soldiers into the Carmelite order,
yes,
didn't you?
Yes, you're right, you're right.
Benigno, what do you think about sending Leandro to Goa to set up something for us over there?
Goa will be the ideal place for us on 2 counts. Financially, to support our mission here in Persia. And secondly, to fulfill our missionary responsibility to the Holy See.
What do you say?
And I think our brother, who is an excellent master traveler, will relish this adventure.
What do you say, Leandro?
Yes, travelers we indeed all are. Sounds interesting to me. Anyway, we must know that the Shah is good to us only for political reasons and for our services to his royal hospital. He himself wants to be treated only by us. So, his hospitality is relative. Paul?
Yes?
Do you remember the school we built for the Armenians?
Oh yes, indeed. He opposed it tooth and nail. The Shah was hostile to our efforts in bringing the Armenian Gregorian Church into the Holy See.
You know what? We need to look at Goa from the perspective of the Holy See. I believe the church is feeling the pressure of the monarchy.
Benigno, you're absolutely right. The king's monopoly on missions in Asia has made His Holiness Pope Clement VIII leave aside our Carmelite brothers of Spain.
I can foresee a conflict here. We Italian missionaries sent by the Pope, His Holiness, directly to propagate faith in the East, and the missionaries working under the control of the king.
I'm aware of a ban that was imposed, banning all the new formation of new convents in Goa. This was imposed by the King of Portugal, and it was implemented by Viceroy Luis Tavora. This was on 4th of February 1610, and I was there in the very same year.
Without our own house here in Goa, how long are we going to survive on the generosity of our Augustinian and Jesuit friends? Life is not going to be easy. Life is not going to be easy.
Yes, that makes our going to Goa all the more exciting. And as our Blessed Teresa of Avila says, when there is opposition, you can truly please God in everything.
Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, makes us be what we are called to be. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, allows His grace to flow through me. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, makes us be what we are called to be. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, allows His grace to flow through me.
God's grace is always sufficient. His presence is always present. He blessed the feet of His chosen ones to tread paths untrodden. God's grace is always sufficient. His presence is always present. He blessed the feet of His chosen ones to tread paths untrodden.
Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, makes us be what we are called to be. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, allows His grace to flow through me. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, makes us what we are called to be. Yes, challenges, lots of challenges, that allows His grace to flow through me.
The advent of 17th century saw Portuguese Goa in doldrums, gone were the days of the civic virtue of Alfonso de Albuquerque and later
You're there. Okay. Give me the spade.
Rest.
Slowly. Let it stay.
Welcome to you, O Carmelites. I've heard of your pursuits in Persia. Well, you've come here earlier for support, and now you come again, knowing very well that the king has banned any new convents in this land. Father Leandro do Anunciação, I've heard you're a traveler par excellence, which keeps you in good stead to be a pioneer missionary of your order. And you, Father Redemptus, how well has God gifted you to be so influential? I know that you even have an oral permission from the King of Spain, who rules us now as Philip I. And yet, I know not how the rules will be bent for you. And you, O brother Elias, a son of this land, groomed in the missions of Persia, what a role you'll have as a native. You do have my blessings, with terms and conditions.
Thank you, Your Grace. It was Christmas Day we arrived here. And as we stare at the New Year 1620 a few days from now, we humbly submit ourselves before you. May the kingdom of God grow in this holy land.
That was the most strange, yet true event that occurred on Monte de Boa Vista at the beginning of this year. The mighty apparition of the Lord on a cross planted by the shepherds that 3 feet cross grew to 3 meters, and the Lord appeared, seen by all, and it is proved to be true.
My people here said that the Lord was very angry with the Portuguese living in our land.
God does speak in signs at different times, Your Grace.
I have planned a Thanksgiving procession at Monte de Boa Vista on February the 23rd this coming year to mark 1 year of this celestial event. I want images of saints to be carried in procession. And yes, why don't you also carry the statue of Blessed Teresa of Avila at this procession? And let me tell you, she is amongst my favorite saints.
I think that's a great proposal, Your Grace, and we shall humbly oblige.
Your Grace, do you think the oral permission I have from Spain would suffice us to plan our own place at Old Goa?
I think you will have to wait. You can proceed and seek the patronage of your Augustinian and Jesuit friends in the city.
Your Grace, we shall pray, and our Blessed Teresa of Avila will play some trick of faith.
Thank you, Your Grace, for your kind welcome. May we always remain in your blessings. Brother Elias, I think you were a bit too quick with His Grace the Archbishop.
I'm sorry. I was angry. But the things which went into my mind, and that is why I spoke. But why did the Lord otherwise appear?
Well, let us look at this opportunity given to us in letting our Blessed Teresa be a part of this procession.
There is something funny that comes to my mind. And could I speak about it?
We love your inspiration, Brother Elias. Speak out.
I thought we could make our Blessed Teresa of Avila speak to His Grace the Archbishop.
How?
We will ask her to write a letter to His Grace the Archbishop.
You still confuse me, brother.
We will write this letter as written by her. And this letter will be given to His Grace the Archbishop, who will give permission to the Carmelites to open their convent in Goa.
You are always funny and insightful, Brother Elias. But who will give this letter to His Grace, the Archbishop?
Of course, she herself. I mean, a statue, which we will take in procession. And with that letter in her folded hands.
I got your plan now. And we will carry her statue along with a petition to His Grace. And we will say that this is a humble petition on this great celestial spectacle of the Lord's apparition. Did I get you right, brother?
Yes, indeed. And His Grace the Archbishop will never say no to one of his favorite saints.
You are a genius, brother.
He indeed is a blessing.
The Carmelites did likewise, as prompted by the intuition of Brother Elias. And lo, His Grace, Archbishop Cristóvão acceded to his humble favorite, Saint Blessed Teresa of Avila. However, there were more challenges in store. The sequence of events was so symbolic. Pope Gregory XV inaugurated Propaganda de Fide on January 6, 1622 and canonized the three spearheads of counter-reformation: Ignatius de Loyola, Francis Xavier, and Teresa of Avila. On March 12, 1622 of the same year. Imagine what a triple celebration it was at the St. Cathedral Square in Old Goa.
We thank you, oh Mother Church, for honoring our founder, Ignatius of Loyola, sent by God's power.
We thank you, O Mother Church, for honoring our founder, Ignatius of Loyola, sent by God's power. Ignatius of Loyola, Ignatius of Loyola, has been your captain of the hour, the captain of the hour.
Raising Savior as a saint, Mother Church, you honor the faith. Why not risk your life prestige for the gospel's sake? Raising Savior as a saint,
Mother Church, you honor the faith.
why not risk your life prestige for the gospel's sake?
We thank you, O Mother, for honoring our founder, Teresa of Avila, to the honors of the altar. We thank you, O Mother, for honoring our founder, Teresa of Avila, to the honors of the altar.
Jesuits and Carmelites together celebrate today in revolution. We commit ourselves to proclaim with might, in all situations we shall shine bright. Long live our friendship in Jesus Christ. We commit ourselves to proclaim with might, in all situations we shall shine bright. Long live our friendship in Jesus Christ.
It's on. And that was a celebration indeed of the lives well lived. It wasn't going to be easy for the Carmelites. The Italian Carmelites sent as pioneers of propaganda fide to take on the monopoly of Padraudo in the east had to face the brunt, and so do they. In 1622, the efforts of the Viceroy intensified to evacuate the Carmelites from Goa, and yet the Carmelites survive. Why?
What has it?
Hello. Oh my God, you have a very high fever. Please drink some water.
This man has a high fever.
Yes, indeed, Father.
Take good care of him, brother.
Surely, Father.
Oh, this man seems to be recovering. Good.
Yes, Father.
Well done,
Much better
brother.
now.
How do you feel? Good. My dear scholastics and novices, yet another day unfolds of God's mighty grace. As you attend to these, our brethren, stricken by the mighty epidemic, remember, this is another God-given opportunity for us to show His compassionate face to this great town. We came here when new convents were banned, and yet stands your testimony of God's plan. What God will it, no one can set asunder. When opposition abounds, God's grace is found. Remember, we came here when new convents were banned, and yet stands your testimony of God's plan. God will it, no one can set asunder. When opposition abounds, God's grace is found. We prosper by grace, we prosper by grace, we prosper by grace, we prosper by grace. Brother Redemptus.
Yes, Father.
And Scholastic Dionysus.
Yes, Father.
Please combine and be of assistance to Viceroy Linnaeus. He wants us to take charge of his hospital at Piedad.
Yes, we will. Serving our ailing brethren is a theology in praxis.
Oh, yes.
These laid in bed, weak and sick, are in fact our saviors.
Yes, indeed.
How's he doing?
Fine, it's fine.
Father Philip, have you considered my request for help at my hospital at Piedad?
Yes, we shall certainly be of help to you, my lord. In fact, Brother Redemptus and Scholastic Dionysus will certainly assist you in the task.
when I asked you to leave.
Yes, indeed, God's mighty power is overshadowing us. In vain do the builders labor, if God does not build His house. We never meant to disobey Thee. It was just that we felt deep within. It wasn't yet time to leave. Oh yes, my Lord. It wasn't yet time to leave.
You make me glad every time and in every need. Your humble service has brought sanctity to this sick city. Sanity and your sanctity has made me right. That God and King would be best served if all were like Carmelites. That God and King would be best served if all were like Carmelites.
Mother Church, trust us, O young man, to keep the banner of Christ flying high. We shall be like Christ if need be, lay down our lives for His eternal kingdom. Oh yes, we will, to the ends of the earth. We are sent to the east to proclaim the mercy of God. Oh yes, we will move to the ends of the earth. We are sent to the east to proclaim the mercy of God. Labor with God's mighty power, we shall therefore labor with God's mighty power. God will build His house, and God will build His house, and God will build His house.
Not so.
Community of the Carmelites, under the inspirational role of Father Philip of the Holy Trinity, was charged with missionary zeal. They had their eyes on the far east, and through to their zest, Brother Redemptus and the newly ordained Father Dionysius of Nativity, both formed in this convent at Old Goa, were sent to Sumatra and died holy martyrs for the sake of faith. In 1640, when Portugal regained independence from Spain, the Padre-Ardo propaganda conflict aggravated. Meanwhile, the Holy See established the Apostolic Vicariate of the Great Mughal, comprising of Bijapur, Golconda, Gujarat, Karwar, and Mumbai. In 1709, the Carmelites were ordered to hand over to the Oratorians and take flight to Karwar. The spotless lily of Saint Teresa of Avila, planted in the holy soils of Goa, was not to die. 3 Goan priests, João Baptiste Falcão, José da Prasantação, Francis Xavier dos Anjos, started a hospicio in Chimbel consecrated to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. True to the charism of these Carmelites, the Chimbel Carmelites, as they were called, in 1754, from 1751 to 1834, attempted evangelization of North Karnataka and popularized the devotion to Our Lady, to the scapular of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They had to do significant missionary works as they had replaced the Jesuits who were suppressed by the Portuguese in 1759. In 1834, Portugal suppressed all religious orders in Goa while continuing with the missionary endeavors outside Goa. In the 11 Chimbel Carmelites, with the permission of the government, of course, occupied the monastery of Nossa Senhora de Pilar at Pilar, Goa. In 1887, the last of the Chimbel Carmelites, Father Cirilo de Anunciação, died on October 22nd. But the presence of the Carmelites was yet again not to die in Goa. The ruins of the monasteries at Old Goa and Chimbel were still alive with the heroic, virtuous lives of the Carmelites. And so, on March 19th, 1939, the new foundation of the Carmelites in Margao was declared as canonically established. From those early moments of the 17th century, when Father Leandro de Anunciação, along with his fellow friars, established humble beginnings amongst much conflicts, to the Carmelite presence here in India today, the seed has grown into a huge tree with different branches, providing shelter, shade, and warmth to the varied needs of Mother Church in India. From 1701 to 1934, you can see an unbroken chain of 17 Carmelite Vicars Apostolic for Malabar, now known as Verapoli. In 1967, Malabar and Manjumal became the first two Indian Discalced Carmelites provinces. The spotless lily of St. Teresa of Avila was to bloom forever. God indeed had dreamt big for the Carmelite family.
Blessed Mother, we think of her as a lady of Mount Carmel. She shows us the path of living full of grace. She's our mother, a perfect model for us all.
She inspired her son to die for a cause. She accompanied him as he walked with his cross. She mothered his apostles in their chaos. She guides us today to be faithful to our call. She inspired her son to die for a cause. She accompanied him as he walked with his cross. She mothered his apostles in their chaos. She guides us today to be faithful to our call.
It's a big celebration in Goa today. In fact, Ignatius of Loyola and Francis Xavier have kept themselves free to be part of the festivities in Goa today. And let me tell you all, Francis Xavier says that he misses for now all eternity the Goan fish curry and the kaju feni.
Brother John, I'm surprised. I think you've got my bug of humor. Brother John, you've become a lot more humorous now. Experience does make us what we are born to be. But Brother John, as you were talking to me, I spotted some people, women and children going out that side. They were wearing the scapula of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. What is it all about?
That's one special work of our tertiary Discalced Chimbal Carmelites.
Oh.
How well they have promoted this devotion to Our Lady of Mount Carmel. How well they have articulated a unique charism into so many diverse apostolates in India today. And today, we Carmelites are a huge army of Christ in India today, responding to so many needs of the people of India. Really, hats off to them.
Yes, brother, hats off to them. I'm waiting, I'm so excited to hear them testify God's Carmelite dream for humankind. Brother, why don't we go and take a place in the audience?
Wait, Teresa. Did you see that?
Who's that, brother?
Prophet Elijah
Oh, Prophet Elijah, where is he?
He's already sitting amongst the crowd.
Oh, how could he miss the celebration?
Come on, let's sit with him.
Come, please.
We thought we would introduce to you the Carmelite family. Very few, in fact, know of them. They are the Chimbel Carmelites. Founded in 1750 to revive the faith of fellow Goans.
Rami must be ready now.
We have Carmelite religious, CCR. Please come, CCR.
Holy sister.
Founded by Mother Veronica, who devote themselves to education and various works of mercy.
They are discarded Carmelites, pioneers of propaganda fide to Persia, Goa and Malabar, wherever the church needed them to be. We call them the OCDs.
Immaculate.
Karam.
Immaculate Mary.
Karam.
Sitting among you somewhere are the Carmelites of Immaculate Mary, founded in the Church of Kerala. The CMIs are prophets of today on a global mission for Christ.
With the Discals OCD runs the cloistered Carmelites to discover the Lord's secrets in the stillness of their heart. They are there.
They are the Apostolic Carmels, founded the Veronica, committed to the education of girls and women.
Meet Occam friars, Ode of the Most Blessed Virgin Mary, founded at Mount Carmel in 13th century. Their St. Thomas province helps the faithful in India to form praying, serving communities.
They are the Carmelite Sisters of Charity, translating God's mercy to the weak and the sick. Founded by St. Joaquina de Vedruna, they help to restore the lives of the lost and the least.
There I can see the Carmelites of Divine Mercy, a congregation just 8 years old, founded by Father Fernandes Lewis to spread the devotion to the mercy of God.
And there were the CMs, the Carmelite missionaries, who combined joy with austerity, dignity with simplicity in all their missionary activities. There.
The Congregation of Mother of Carmel. They uplift the Christian formation, especially of women and children.
Call upon Theresian Carmelites,
Carmelite sisters.
twins, if you may call, of CMC sisters. They pledge passion for God and compassion for humankind.
Here comes Carmelite Sisters of St. Teresa, founded by Mother Teresa of St. Rose of Lima, who cater to integral development, especially of left-out women
with Teresa of Avila.
And John of the Cross too.
And we recall the moments when it seemed so typical. How could we be contemplated and yet active in the world?
I love to live secluded, while Teresa wanted to move into the world. In the dark night of my soul, I decided to do the will of God.
We trust in God and simply surrender. Today we sing His glories
for the wonders He has worked.
As we honor God at Mount Carmel and His Son who died on a cross, we pray that every man and woman today live and work like Mother of God. As we honor God at Mount Carmel and His Son who died on a cross, we pray that every man and woman today live and work like Mother of God.
Yes, it's so good to be together as one family. Men and women dedicated to God like Elijah prophecy.
Yes, we are marching to the east, trusting in your decree, Holy Spirit. May your presence and guidance, Lord, guide our destiny.
Yes, it's so good to be together as one family. Men and women dedicated to God like Elijah prophecy. Suffices. God alone suffices. God alone suffices. God alone suffices.
Solo Dio basta.
Thank you. You can get up.
Bus में है